10.
Plan 9.
8.
7.
6 shots.
5.
Quattro.
We are the three. Amigos. 2 more mother humpers.
One ring to rule them all.
Let's rock!
Well, good morning, good evening, good whatever time it is where you are. Broadcasting live from Japan again. Jacob Ironside isn't here yet, but I understand how frustrating it is trying to manage with the differences in time zones. So hopefully he joins us later on. But for now, let's just get into the show. Yes. So today, talking about what I believe to be a great cult classic, Equilibrium or Equilibrium, whichever way you wish to pronounce it. I will start by saying I absolutely love this movie. I love this film to death. And, well, there's a lot of death in this movie, talking about death, but we'll get to that soon enough. So let's just get started with some of the basics of Equilibrium. So yes, Equilibrium, brackets, it's a film, just in case you didn't know that. It says 2003 here, but I do believe this actually came out in 2002. And it was started production in 1999, so it had quite a long production. And this was probably the first film, one of the first films that I really noticed Christian Bale. This is essentially a Christian Bale vehicle, by far the star of this film, and directed by Kurt Wimmer, and on a $20 million budget. And every dollar spent is seen in this film. It's on screen. This film looks fantastic. Although I will say, as I was editing through this video to prepare the RIPs that we'll see later on, while this film looks fantastic, if you watch it in its intended speed, don't go through it frame by frame. When you start going through it frame by frame, you do see some of the pieces start to fall apart there, because especially, for example, in the opening shot, when he's standing still and he's doing all the 360 shooting around him. There is some bad CGI, but it's so short. It's like 2 or 3 frames, and it's lit in such a perfect way that you don't notice it when you're watching it in real speed. But if you slow it down frame by frame, you're like, ooh, oh my God, I never realized it looked so cheap. All right. Oh, well, hello there, Miss Katong Madman. You saw this in the theater back in the day. I'm jealous. I did not see this in the theater, and I hate myself for that. It was a $20 million budget, and it absolutely bombed. It only made $5 million. It only made $5 million in its theatrical run. So, Miss Grammaton, you probably like 1% of its entire gross for the theatrical run. I got this on DVD rental. I think this is where this movie picked up a lot of its cult following, is in the rentals afterwards, which was a thing that happened actually quite often back in the late 90s and early 2000s. I believe Starship Troopers was actually a similar pathway where it didn't do too hot in the movie theater, but it really picked up on VHS and DVD sales. CGI looks cheap? Say it ain't so. Yes. Again, it's not bad. And hello, good morning, Kochi STI from Kochi Ken here in Japan. It's not bad when you watch it in its intended speed, because they did a fantastic job of hiding the cheap CGI with the lighting and with like the fast-paced editing. But yeah, don't go frame by frame. That's my only caveat here. Happy to do my part. Yes. And you say that without emotion, I hope. I hope you're all emotionless today. I hope you all took your PROZIUM this morning. That's better. I believe I should do the whole review without emotion today, because that would seem appropriate, especially for the topic at hand. But unfortunately, this film has now been rated EC10, which means it engages us to feel. So it is now banned content. And we'll be talking about that, how this film echoes a lot of what we're seeing today, ironically enough, in some of our political spheres. And Jacob Ironside is here. Let's add him to the stage. All right. Good morning, Jacob Ironside. Let me see. Oh, you're still muted? So please unmute yourself there and join the conversation. Miss Katong Mana was just saying how he saw this in the theaters, and that's a pretty lucky guy. And the rest of us probably just saw it on DVD. It's 7 a.m., so my motion suit hasn't booted up yet. Yes. Yeah, I this morning I was my family's actually away today. My wife and the kids stayed over at her friend's house last night, and I was like, sweet, this is great. So that means last night I'm going to get so much done. Just went to bed. And even this morning, I still was like, oh, God, can I still wake up by 7 a.m.? I got the whole house free. But I did it. I'm up. I'm awake. And I'm here with you guys. Oh, yeah. Jig Ourside says just to give him a minute. All right. So we'll do that. No worries there. Yeah. And so this film, not too hot in the theaters, but now I'd say is beloved by many. And fantastic cast as well. That really brings this film together. So let's look at the cast here. There we are. So, of course, starring Christian Bale. This is actually one of my favorite Christian Bale performances of all time. For one, he's not doing his Batman voice. He's being stoic, but without the try to be overly gruff. The overly gruff voice, which for me doesn't really work all that much. That was a big problem with Terminator Salvation with his John Connor, for example. Then we got Sean Bean. Spoilers, he dies. He's in about the first 20 minutes of the movie. Emily Watson, and this was also the first time I ever really noted Emily Watson, and she's fantastic in this movie as well. And Ty Diggs, this is by far my favorite role that Ty Diggs has ever done. I'm not going to lie, a lot of the stuff that Ty Diggs has been in isn't really my cup of tea, but he's fantastic in this movie, and I'm surprised he didn't become more of an action star because he's like perfectly suited for it. He's wonderful as the really kind of like wormy antagonist in this film. Then you have now apparently Dominic Purcell's in this, but really only like a super minor role. But I love Sean Pertwee as the father. He's also great in Event Horizon. So I really like him, and he's fantastic as father. William Fitcher's in this, and William Fitcher is one of those people where it's like you don't know his name, but you've seen him in so many movies. For example, he's like the blind guy in Contact, and he's also in like Armageddon, and so he's in all these movies in rather major roles, but you just never really learn his name. And then we have Angus McFadden, who is great as DuPont. So everyone brings their A game to this film. Yes. So cast is absolutely fantastic. Again, Christian Bale, though, I think he just carries this whole film on his shoulders. And that's not a pun to do with the statue we see with the earth on its shoulders there, if you're well endowed with this movie. And of course, let's talk about the director a little bit too. So the director, again, oh my God, I gotta remember his name here. The director is Kurt Wimmer, and he's had this is, I would say, by far his best directorial feature he's ever done. He's also done apparently One Man's Justice, which is something I know absolutely nothing about. He did Ultraviolet, which I remember I watched once a really long time ago and can't remember much about that. And he did the remake of Children of the Corn apparently in 2020, which is a film I think nobody knows anything about. If you've seen any of those other films, please comment. I'm guessing that some people have seen Ultraviolet. So this is by far his standout feature. I believe he does have other writing credits, and he's written some. He at least has writing credits with some half-decent films. But I think he is more a choreographer than anything else. and which shows in the film since he has, I believe, Kata is his own creation. Maybe someone could double check on that, but I do remember my kendo teacher telling me that. Actually, oh my God, memories were coming back in. That's how I discovered equilibrium, because at the time, back in Vancouver, I was doing kendo, and my kendo teacher was talking about Kata for some reason, and because I think we were talking about the Matrix, which then led into talking about Kata. He said, "Well, if you like the Matrix and you think like kind of like gunplay that isn't shooting, gunplay is like as like almost like a Bobby type of weapon." Then you would enjoy watching Equilibrium. So through him, I discovered Equilibrium. And welcome, Jacob Ironside. You're here now. Can you say hello to everyone?
Yes, I am. Hello, everybody.
There we go.
Actually thought this was tomorrow.
Oh,
I was watching Equilibrium. So shoot.
Oh man,
I've seen it before, so I'm good. I apologize.
Okay, fantastic. Because I hope right now you're not like, what happens to Sean Bean? Does he die?
Oh, he dies? Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Spoiled the whole thing. And yes, I agree, Coachy. Children of the Corn has no remake.
Ultraviolet and Children of the Corn. Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, what's, Jacob, what is your history with Equilibrium? Like, how did you come to get known? Like, when's the first time you saw it? Did you see it in the theater?
No, I did not see it in the. I started watching it one time and it just didn't grab me. And
really,
so but I was a kid when I saw it, so it kind of didn't interest me. But yeah, I saw it later on. But yeah, it's good movie. Yeah, excited.
So I was great. Yeah, I saw it. Let's see. Well, it came out 2002, 2003-ish. So I would have been right in my late teens when I saw it. So probably like 19. So this would have been perfect timing for a 19-year-old boy, who just loves his ass kicking violence. Yeah.
Yes.
Emotionless
violence.
Emotionless violence too. Yes. Yes. But I will say that's what kind of helps set this movie apart is it's obviously like doesn't hold back. It's a straight like action movie, but it has heart to it. It has heart and it has good dramatic performances, and that's what for me really seals this film together.
Just watching what I've watched today, it reminds me of like a over the top opera in some parts.
Yes, it has that. Yeah, especially like
at least comic booky. It definitely has the comic book style action in it. Especially that first scene in the pitch black, and you see all the flashes. That's
100% comic book. Yeah, it's almost
comic booky. Yeah.
Yeah, it has like it definitely has like manga elements into it, like live action manga. Yeah. Elements. Yeah, it's a real blend because a lot of people say like, oh, it's just like a rehash remake of the Matrix, and like, okay, maybe if you're looking at it at the most it's early in the morning, all my words are just very like simplistic level or like just complete surface level. Okay, yeah, sure, it has the aesthetic of the Matrix, but I do want to point out that Matrix didn't invent that aesthetic. That was kind of like an overall late 90s, early 2000s feel. Like Blade came out before Matrix. And if you ask me, a lot of the Matrix reminds me of Blade, right? So,
yeah.
And they don't do...
on Roman's channel a couple nights ago, we did the V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah, V for Vendetta. That's in this class too.
Same thing with that movie. I couldn't get into that movie, and I didn't watch it till later on. I guess it was just that the times these two movies came out, just I wasn't interested in that kind of dystopian kind of future, But
yeah,
my tastes have changed, and they're both great movies now.
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. And actually, I like that. They should be a box set. That should be a box set. It should be Blade, the first Matrix, Equilibrium, and V for Vendetta. There's your dystopian trench coat, late 90s, early 2000s trench coat warrior box set. There you go. Take it home.
Yes.
Fun for the whole family.
Right.
But I would say, and what's interesting is like you look at those 4 movies. It's like yes, they're all that style, and there are tons of these. Like those are the standouts, but there's like tons of cheaper, worse versions of this style. But those 4 I say are that kind of like the standouts. And even though they're all that style, and people could say, well, this copied that, or this copied that, or Equilibrium's just the Matrix, or Matrix is just Blade, or V for Vendetta is just Equilibrium or whatnot, right? It's
Yeah.
but
They're very different though.
yeah, they're all distinct. They're all very distinct, and they all have a very different emotional cores and very different settings, and even genre is different.
And
Like obviously,
the emotional wavelength. You have this Equilibrium where, they're totally emotionless.
yeah,
But you have in the Matrix Agent Smith having emotion, and he's a AI program.
AI, yeah. No, so you got like obviously Blade is like the vampire version of this aesthetic. Matrix is like I guess like techno thriller version of this aesthetic. Equilibrium is the dystopian future kind of like, I like how you said opera. I'll say it's like the opera version of this aesthetic, dystopian futuristic opera. And then V for Vendetta kind of falls a little similar to that, but V for Vendetta is how would you describe that one? It's more maybe those would be the 2.
I don't know.
Classical, yeah, I would say it's more like the classical version of
Yeah.
of this aesthetic. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I absolutely love this film, and of course, a big part of this film is actually about medication. So there's your Jacob. You got to take your medication.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you got to take your PROZIUM this morning. And
I dropped it on the floor. Oh no.
oh shit! Oh my god! I gave mine to my dog, and it's not
What am
barking
I
anymore. It's
doing?
really nice. Yeah. So we're here on the show. We do our Japanese word for the day, and today's Japanese word is medicine. So, are you ready to learn what is medicine in
Yes.
Japanese?
Let's do it.
So yes, medicine in Japanese is kusuri. So say it with me.
Kusuri.
Kusuri. Yes, very nice. So here, I'll bring up the slide. There we go. Kusuri. This is actually a very interesting kanji. So the bottom parts, they mean kind of like relaxation, happy, joy. And the top part is plant. So there you go. So you got your plant
okay.
joy, your plant relaxation, and that's medicine. Kusuri. Yes, and I take my kusuri
It has a more
every morning.
natural. It has a more natural meaning in Japanese.
Well, yeah, because you think about like in the past, like where did most of your medicine come from, right? You just went out,
plants.
it was all just herbs and whatnot, and like bark
Yeah.
or roots or anything, just so many parts of plants, right?
Right.
I for one enjoy these dystopian documentaries. Yes. I'll tell you, watching Equilibrium, it's quite fascinating with the parallels of today's society. One of them is, of course, medicine. We live in an overly prescribed society these days, and almost everyone's on a pill. So it's quite fascinating watching that, where it's like everyone's on their PROZIUM now, right? So
Right.
yeah. So in that aspect, we're already living equilibrium. But the other one I like is when how like everything from the past is like all the art and literature from the past is banned, right? And it's all EC10. It's rated EC10. It's banned and burned. And it's kind of funny because while I was watching this I watched this a few days ago. I've seen this movie probably a good 20 to 25 times. So I'm like, all right, let's watch it one more time. Obviously, got to edit through it for a little RIP rundown we'll be going through later. And it's fascinating because right when I was done watching it, I just did a little doom scrolling. And one of the videos that came up was talking about this school district in Ontario, Canada. And what this school district had done, and you want to talk about like dystopian nightmares, it was in Mississauga, Ontario, and they removed all literature and books from the school libraries that were printed before 2008 or published before 2008. Nice. Because they said it didn't represent society today and wasn't inclusive enough. And I was like, oh my God. Well, first of all, there goes 1984. That's gone. There goes George Orwell. There goes Lord of the Rings. There goes the Hungry Caterpillar. There goes Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's bizarre. I'm like, if that isn't equilibrium, I don't know what is. Like,
gosh,
son, what are you reading there?
Everything.
Names in the Giant Peach.
History.
History textbooks. Well, you think about it, that removes any old biology textbooks, that removes any old science books, anything that will go against any pseudoscience that's published today, right? So that's all removed.
Anything to help you think.
Yeah. I just picture a kid reading like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in one of those schools. Oh, this is wonderful. Excuse me, son. That's rated EC10. You are now going to be burned alive for sense offense.
You were in violation.
You're in violation of EC10. All right, to the principal's office. Thanks for the reminder on my allergy meds. All right, fantastic. Well, it's actually kind of funny because my wife, she worked
to the principal's office for your electrocution therapy.
Yeah, for your shock therapy. Yes. Oh yeah. So Mascot Mehmet, when I saw this film, it reminded me. Yeah, it does have a Brave New World feel with like the drug Soma. Brave New World will also now be banned at that those school libraries before 2008. But instead, the drug makes people. Yes. Automatons in this film. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of funny because like Brave New World, it's like they get hopped up and they just become heathens. Everything, it's about a hedonistic future where there's no real, like you just have random, essentially, they say you have each other, which just meant like random sex and stuff like that, which is essentially Tinder, right? So there we go. And Bumble and all that. Where this film, it's like it just makes everyone monotone and just emotionless. So it's an interesting spin on that.
Yeah, almost like radio. I noticed it sounded like they're talking through a radio, but it's just their monotone, blank voice.
Yeah, it's wonderfully done, and I love the scenes of like everyone just walking through the streets, and like when he's like, for example, when he's first starting to feel, and he's going up like. Kind of like I think like exiting a subway or whatnot, and he's coming up the stairs, and everyone is just in step going up the stairs, and he's like the only. And then like even the tactile sensation of like feeling the railing like emotes some emotion in him. So I do love those types of moments in the film. Just the power of like emotion, just like how every minor interaction, if you've lived a life without emotion, every minor like sensation becomes like, oh my God, as he's like starting to like. Regain his humanity. Yeah, it's a great. I do love this subject. This and I know it's been unfortunately recently it's been the dystopian and the nihilistic has been done to death as of recent. Although I will say this film isn't nihilistic because it is at least a generally like positive ending. So while it's definitely nihilistic at the start, it at least. A good kind of hero's journey,
depressing
type of
ending
film.
At the end where the hero dies. Anyway,
yeah, exactly. Although I tell you, it would be a messy sequel. It's one of those kind of like Back to the Future. This is one of those movies where I think like, okay, it is a happy ending, But you got a whole society that's never felt emotion, and now their drugs are gone, and they're all going to be feeling emotions for the first time. That's going to be a pretty hectic first few months to sort things out.
Like Vulcans.
Yeah, exactly. They're like Vulcans, and which is why actually in Star Trek, Vulcans have always been my least favorite race in Star Trek, my least favorite species. Yeah, just because it's like I don't know. I find while I do enjoy like the idea of where they think logical, I think you can have a lot of fun with that. Like logically, like I love that, but the idea that they have like no emotions, I'm like I wish it was more like they have emotions, but their society just learns to control them to such a point that they appear emotionless. I would prefer that if that was
that's the difference though. Spock is like the way after he dies, the way Kirk describes him as the most human person I've ever met.
Yeah, and that's why I do love Spock, because he's half human, right? So he has that emotions underneath, right? Just like Christian Bale, who has his emotions breaming underneath. Let's get into the film then. All right. And as always, I'm going to narrate exactly what I'm doing. All right. Share screen.
All right.
Make sure I select the right one. Gotta make sure the red tube doesn't pop up. Okay, and now make sure I'm not.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so if I do draw some blanks, that's the reason. I haven't seen it in a while. So,
hey, now the clerics, they'd never draw blanks, so your ass is dead. All right.
Yeah, right.
So yes, Dimension Films, and I feel like they did a few movies that I loved back in the days. But
yeah, they did.
This movie starts with a classic prologue, classic sci-fi dystopian prologue, but actually one of my favorite prologues. A good mix of some classic stock footage, but it makes sense in that they're talking about war and the history of humanity. And yeah, just a great speech by Father at the starts, and it just throws you right into the world. So we jump in with both feet. But what I do love about this film,
we get the future Dracula.
Yes,
guy that's in Blade 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's weird when you look at the cast. He's like number 2. It's like he's barely in it. He barely says anything.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think just before you arrived, I said like here he is, like really high up on the cast, but he's like. Does he say anything? I don't remember now. He's like
he says, barely you know what film. To do. I think that's about it.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I guess he's a major member. Yeah, it's actually not that big of a cast at all, but everyone that's in the film nails their role. Like I have like they take it seriously, and like obviously Christian Bale, the guy takes everything he does very seriously, so he's perfect for this role. And still quite a young Christian Bale. And what I really also enjoy about this movie is, you know, it's the future and you know it's Earth. So you generally take that it did stem from our timeline. But
yeah,
you don't know where this movie takes place. You don't know, like, is this the United States? Is this Europe? Is this somewhere else? Right? Like it's very vague in that, very nebulous. And I like that. I like that you can't pinpoint exactly where this is. And you're also not sure, is this the whole world or is this just like one region that lives under this society? So yeah, we get our first major raid at the start. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we get our first.
I'm going to bring up something that happens. I can wait.
Okay. Yeah. No, at any time you got something to say, just let me know. Jump right in.
All right.
And yeah, this is our first raid, and here's like the famous. I hope I don't get copy. I hope I don't get flagged for this spot.
Did we get him? Did we get him? We got him.
Whispering. Oh, shut up. I love that. He's just standing in the middle of the room. Yeah, I remember watching this the first time. This scene here instantly had me in. I was like, oh my God, this is boss. Did we say boss back then? I forget. This is gnarly. There we go. Yeah, so awesome. Just breaks into it and boom, boom, just shooting back and forth. Now, it's him, but if you go through this frame by frame, it cuts in between like him, like real Christian Bale, to a CG Christian Bale, to sometimes to the real Christian Bale, but CG arms moving. So, never
Kinda
go
like
through this frame by frame.
GIF I sent you.
Pardon?
Kind of like the GIF I sent you.
Yes, just like the GIF. Yeah, I'm keeping that GIF. I love that. Yeah. And it's I was also going to say, just like Matrix Reloaded, when Neo becomes CG and it looks awful. Although they did a much better job in this film at hiding it, I will say, than they did with Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, they did.
Matrix Reloaded. I can barely watch that movie now because the bad CG just makes me just want to look away. Secondhand embarrassment. So yeah, if he gets real shots like that, like there, you can see it for a second where it kind of goes blue. That was like when it went to CG there, which I never noticed until I started editing it earlier this week. So yeah, we got a comment. Wow. Let's see. The time for laughing is over. Yes, the time for laughing and joy is over. Christmas is approaching. It's time we have to spend with family and friends. That we don't really want to see, but we may as well see them anyway. So yeah, just awesome opening sequence. Brings you right into the film. And then they find, I believe, the Mona Lisa here. So essentially this is the future of, it's real, yep. So Krennic wood type unknown, treatment dry.
The first time for people seeing this, like, oh, they're out collecting art. Real art that's been stolen. And then he's like, burn it. It's like, oh,
burn
no.
it. They come in with those awesome, the flamethrowers, like comes in and just shit out of it. Yeah. Because you thought at first you're thinking like they're coming to confiscate it, right? Like, but nope, it's going to all be destroyed. Essentially, this is the end game, the future of Just Stop Oil. This is their plan.
Right.
No more throwing soup. We're into burning it now. Verified.
It's real.
It's real. And here they come in. There we go. That's so great. The cinematography in this movie. This movie has fantastic like shot composition and cinematography and great editing. So the visual storytelling in this movie is fantastic. Like, I absolutely love it. The whole production design, like the color template, and there's like stuff I really didn't notice it even until this time watching, where it's like whenever it starts with him, and it's very muted colors. It's very cold, very gray, blues. But as he starts feeling more emotion, you'll notice more colors start coming into the film, especially when he's on screen. His skin goes from being very muted, almost gray, to much more beige, like more saturated beige. Especially when he's talking with what's her name, Mary O'Brien. It's actually very interesting to watch. I was like, I didn't notice those details before. So like a lot of thought was put into this film, which we don't have a lot of these days. And actually, before we continue, and this is a crime. Look at the rating it has. Wait. It's only 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. And if you go on some other rating conglomerates, it's even worse. So this movie was absolutely panned when it came out. Yeah.
That's weird.
And which I find that so bizarre. Like, this is definitely...
It does have an uncomfortable subject.
Yeah, like
I
like, is that what turned people off? Or like I heard some reviews saying like, oh, it's the Matrix again, but we already went over that, where no, this is very different than the Matrix, and it was a general aesthetic. And actually, this movie was already, apparently, from what I've read, this movie was already in production when the Matrix was released. So again, I think it was just more, that was the style at the time. It's a very late 90s, early 2000s aesthetics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But damn, it just got absolutely wrecked by critics. So this is one of those movies where I wonder if it came out today, how different the reaction would be. Because there's a lot of movies like, was it The Thing got wrecked by critics when it first came out and bombed. So did Blade Runner got wrecked by critics and bombed. So there's this constant pattern of mine where movies I love tend to be hated by critics when they came out. And I was like, oh, Jesus, why am I always not? That's why I can never be a professional movie critic. I can never be in that circle because I like good movies. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They get paid to hey, you do a good review on this movie because politics.
yeah, get out. Yeah. I didn't like this movie. It sucked. Yeah, but did you notice who was the lead? Oh, God. Yeah. So then we get this great scene here, which pretty much signs Sean Bean's death warrant.
Yeah.
Where they're riding in the car together, and he's taken one of the EC10 materials back with him, one of the band materials in his pocket. And that kind of subconsciously triggers Preston here to start digging into him. And also, I want to know, while they're in the car here, I love the interior of these cars. Here's another thing they predicted. Yeah. So here's the interior of the car.
Like
and look, it's like,
oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. And to me, it's like, that looks like a Tesla. That looks like the interior of a Tesla. They predicted the complete modern minimalism of modern cars, where they have absolutely nothing, no flavor, no personality.
But it is a Cadillac.
Yes, it is a Cadillac still. So I'd give this film about a 7.5 out of 10. Fair rating. Set
workers just taking a can of white spray paint and just spray painting everything white in the car.
Yeah, it's like, this is easy. Just make this car as plain as possible. Yeah, but again, my God, that's like three things this film.
Is that the new Jaguar?
Yeah. It's beautiful though. I would actually like to ride around in this car. I want one of these cars.
Yeah. I do love the shot where it's going into the city. And overshot of this nihilistic, harsh architecture everywhere.
Yeah, that's right here. Here we go. Yeah. So there's the car coming in. They got the big gates at the front here. The movie was filmed in Germany. Good choice. Because it's this beautiful mix of what can I say? It's a beautiful mix of like obviously brutalist, a lot of brutalist architecture, but also some like Gothic, a slight flavor of Gothic, and even a little bit of oh man, see, my brain's terrible right now. It's my favorite Art Deco. There's a tiny bit of Art Deco in it as well.
A little bit.
Yeah, and you'll see it as we pan up here. So there we go. So it has like
this is Mega City, Germany.
Yeah. It's essentially like kind of like what it's essentially what a certain socialist party had planned for the future type of look in Germany in the 1930s and 40s.
Did you get what I mean? The in the Dread universe.
Mega
cities.
Yeah. Mega block.
So it's like Mega City Germany.
Yeah. This is Mega City Germany. Yes, we need the German. We need David Hasselhoff. We need David Hasselhoff as Judge Dredd in here, running around.
I am the law.
Yeah. I'll be ready. He's riding like the Baywatch run. Oh man, they love him in Germany. They have like a huge heart-on for him.
Oh, that's weird.
Yes, eventually car interiors will also be made from foam for crash safety. Yes. Yeah. This film, I'd say for the most accurate futuristic predictions are Equilibrium and Demolition Man. those two together. You marry those two together.
Yeah. Mhm.
And you got
Okay.
2024. So yeah, again, it's just I just want to go back a little bit because again, this shot shows something where it's both fantastic and wonderful, where the effect works, the shot works. It's a beautiful shot, but then you get a couple poorly done things. Like there's a couple of these extra kind of tanks. So you got the main ones that are moving. They look fine. Looks like they're in the right proportions. Then you got this tank over here, like on the roof, where you're like, what's that? Like if you look up on the top,
cut and pasted,
which is just cut and pasted. You got a couple cut and paste. You're like, oh, why'd they add that? That just, you don't need that. Like it was looking fine.
No.
Like the rest of it looks fine, right? But
Yeah.
you got those couple cut and pasted tanks for no reason. You're like, what was that?
On top of buildings, like they drive on top of buildings over there.
Yeah. There's another cut. Yeah. Luckily, most of this film seems to be practical. Lots of extras, lots of again great locations. The funny thing was, I was actually when I was looking up, I was expecting to see somewhere in like the Ukraine or Romania as filming locations, but it's in East Germany, or I'm in Germany. I'm guessing what was once East Germany by a lot of the architecture they use. But yeah, it looks fantastic. Great choice. And I also like, this is where like a multicultural cast really works too. Like a lot of the extras, there's lots of multiculturalism here, but it's after like World War III, and it's where they've kind of the whole thing idea is that we've brought world peace and unity through like removing emotion, right? So I love that where it's like, okay, we got multiculturalism here, everyone's together, but everything is so bland and the same that it actually sucks, right? Like it's where it doesn't matter, right? Then we get them training the clerics. Again, fantastically done exposition.
I love the shot of the kid like pointing out people in the crowd. That one, he's showing emotion. Get him.
Yeah, no, the kid's fantastic in this, and it's a kid. It's like I always hate kids in films, and I hate this kid in film, but I'm supposed to hate him right at the start. I love that, and it
works,
and it's a fantastic twist. It's a twist that works. Where I totally thought he was going to rat out his father later on when he's like comes in, but he doesn't. He's actually a sense offender himself, and I was like, oh, I actually didn't see that coming, which was nice. Yeah, and then here we are. This is interesting here. This globe. I love this set, and I love the globe because it's like it's the Earth, but it's a little everything's off. Like North America, it's like it's you got like the St. Lawrence going way up there with the Great Lakes, past the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
You got South America, which is completely disconnected. Africa is completely reshapen there. Europe is like moved around. So but it still has Iceland. It's got Greenland, so it's like everything's still there, but it's all a little off. And I'm not sure if that is like just an artistic choice or if that's supposed to be what the world looks like here. So it's interesting. And another thing I noticed though is I'm not sure if we'll see it. Hopefully we stop on one of the flags later, but there's the symbol. But whenever Preston fires, it's like a four-pronged symbol.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like two T's or like four of those T's together. But when he fires when the clerics fire their guns, the muzzle flash from their guns is that symbol. It's really cool.
Simple. Oh wow.
Yeah. So if you just by chance happen to pause it on one of the muzzle flashes, it's great. It's the symbol. So hopefully,
the last thing you see before you die.
I love a freeze frame. Yeah, this guy plays such a great turd. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, he does.
He's a turd, and he plays it so well.
Braveheart to this movie, yes, he plays a turd.
Yeah, he's so perfect for it. This is a great scene. Again, I think this movie is 147 minutes long, perfect length. Every scene has a point and moves the story along, and does it quite seamlessly. So this already plants the seed where he's saying, how did you feel when your wife was executed? So we now know that despite the fact that he's a cleric, like the top SS police officer essentially, that his own wife was a sex offender and he never clued into it, even though he's like one of the best. So I like that already plants a seed that he subconsciously feels already, right? And he subconsciously probably knew it, but didn't. But his subconscious overruled it, where he didn't want to know it, right? So he didn't want his wife to die. So I like that.
Oh, the scene. We'll get to it, but the scene where they break in to take his wife, and he just grabs that guy's gun and breaks his hand,
Yes,
and then just breaks his arm and rips it out of socket. Oh,
I love that too.
Ouch.
Yeah, we'll get there soon enough. Yeah, but oh my god, that looks so painful. Yeah, and it's also a neat mix of technology where they obviously have high technology, but also obviously for regular people, most things are still paper, right? It's still, So it's like high technology is like only for like the clerics and like the supreme upper class of the society. We get Sean.
Just keep the books. That guy just keeps the books with paper.
I love that. Yeah, it's like all logged in, nothing in. Wonderful props again. Whole production design, costumes, props, everything in this movie is so. It just immerses you in this world. Yeah. And poor Sean Bean, he officially makes it into 17 minutes. 17 minutes and...
Say it so.
57 seconds.
Bean dies? Oh, no.
He's gone. There we go. He almost made it to 18 minutes. Good job, Sean Bean. now go play.
I think Sean Bean has beat... the guy in Predator and Aliens and Terminator for dying the most in a movie. Oh yeah. Talk about like
oh my god. Now this is embarrassing if I can't remember his name now. Oh my god, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. There we go.
Yeah. No, he's definitely done.
We still have our geek card. Good.
Whew. Yes. Damn, almost got revoked there. Almost got revoked. Yes. A geek cleric should know Bill Paxton's name, should he not? Oh, yes, of course. He should not stumble when trying to remember Bill Paxton's name, should he not? I'll do better next time. I ask myself that same question every day. How could I forget Bill Paxton's name? Yeah. Well, ironically, one of the movies that Sean Bean actually survives is actually a film he wasn't even supposed to be in, and that was the Silent Hill film, which is interesting because that was an example, which is almost like Bizarro World of a studio meddling in the other way, the wrong way. Was they finished the movie. And then one of the producers said, "There's no male leads in this film. We're going to lose our male audience." But the funny thing is, in that movie, they actually have good, strong female characters. Where it's like men wouldn't care in that movie. No, that's fine. Those two female leads and the young girl are fantastic. We don't need that, right? But they said, okay, so that's why Sean Bean's role feels so disconnected from the rest of the film. Because they didn't just went and reshot that.
I thought they were going to be like, "Oh, we can't have this. Sean Bean survives. No, we can't have that.
We can't have that.
We need to reshoot."
he just stumbles and falls and dies. And then, of course, we introduce Tidings here.
Even just the shot of these steps, and the car pulling up, just really good lighting and. Yeah, that's great.
Everything is so. Every shot, like even the composition of this, like this is like it's so well thought out. The lighting, the shadows, like everything in this movie. Oh, and there's the kid. Oh my god, you just hate this kid.
Just one thing is pride an emotion? Because that black guy is certainly showing some pride in
Oh no, he's a red herring throughout the whole. Well, is that the proper term, red herring, right now? No, the son's a red herring because you're suspecting the son to rat him out.
Okay.
But the I got to remember the character's name. This is one of those movies where it's like I love it, but trying to remember character names can be a little difficult because they never really, besides Preston, they never really use names too much.
Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. Okay. Ty Diggs is Brandt. Okay. But it makes sense because like throughout the film, Brandt he's smiling a little bit and he has pride, and you're like, what's up? I thought they have to be emotionless, right? But it's obvious at the end because he is like DuPont's right hand man, that he himself is not on PROZIUM. He feels emotions, and it's obvious that this extreme super top class feel emotions, right? So that makes sense in the end, where it's like, oh, this whole time he has himself. He's just an asshole, right? That's it. He's happy keeping everyone else essentially enslaved on these drugs, but he enjoys feeling himself, right? Oh, enjoys feeling himself. I shouldn't say it like that. Sean Bean Paris is shocking. I know. I couldn't believe it.
Well,
I thought he was.
He does feel.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's true. You know what? It's not like Sean Bean. It's not like Sean Bean never lived, right? He did feel. Right. He did feel. So at least we can be happy with that. Yeah, this is great. This kid. There's your home entertainment. Just watching father speak. Yeah. This is what you're talking about right here. Here we go.
Yes, here we go.
Oh, damn, we just missed it. I got to go back. Yeah, so he's with his wife. Well, you can see right here. See how colorful she is. Yeah. Right? Like, you don't see the saturation at all in like what the rest of the movie up to now. And then you see him, like how cold he is, right? Like, so I love little details like this in visual storytelling.
Yeah, that's great.
I love this, but his instinct here is to beat the shit out of these guys. So it shows you that even though he's on the drug, deep down he has that emotional state, right?
Yeah.
Like this is 100% an emotional response. Oh, I tell you,
and that guy no longer works as a police officer.
No, that guy's retired. He's retired now. God, that is just so. Oh, this looks so painful.
It definitely is the like 80s over the top breaking somebody's arm, Yeah.
Yeah, this movie does have a little flash of the 80s in its violence. It's just the sounds too. That's fantastic sound design. Just every time I see that, it just makes me wince. Yeah, and then she kisses him right here, and we get a little flash of color on him. So he's already a little warmer color. He's not as warm as her color, but he's compared to before. Yeah. And then that shot's very warm, right? So this movie is so criminally underrated. I hate critics. Yeah, and then he misses his dose. His son tells him, "You better replace your goddamn dose, Dad."
You better replace that.
Oh man, you just hate this kid so much when you're watching this the first time.
And then
here, I like this
with her cereal.
Yeah,
like,
stop it. Yeah.
At least it's not blue milk.
Yeah, it's not blue milk. But I do like that she gives a slight smile here, so a little hint that she is also feeling emotions. Yeah.
No, of course.
But even here, you see, like now, look at the color temperature in the film. It's warmer now, right? Everything's warmer, and throughout the whole movie, it just gets warmer and warmer and warmer. It starts out so cold and desaturated.
I love when you first see the kid, and he's like, "I saw so and so crying at school. Should I report him?" He's like, "Absolutely,
absolutely, yes, I love that." That was the right thing to do. Yeah, right there. That was the right thing to do. Yeah. But what's great about this scene here, where he says "stop that" at her and gets like angry, is because he's not aware yet that his father has stopped taking the dose, right?
Right.
So he is almost, but both him and his sister have stopped taking the dose. So he's almost trying to protect his sister here, saying like, "Don't give yourself away," right? Like you're showing too much emotion right now,
Yeah.
right?
Stop that.
Right. So that's when you see this.
Yeah, it's not like a harsh stop that, it's like a, hey, remember, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Because like the first time you watch this, you think the kid's just being a hard ass, right? But when you watch it again, you're like, I see now. And again, I love movies like that where you can enjoy a second, third viewing and like realizing the different meaning behind certain sequences and scenes.
Right.
And then they arrest O'Brien here, and he has this real flash of emotion. Look at you, and of course, like this all mirrors the situation with his wife, right? What happened to his wife?
Mm-hmm.
So this is essentially the linchpin of what stops him from retaking his doses. This is a wonderful scene when he starts listening to the classical music and kind of crying in private.
Oh, that's a little later on.
Oh, that's a little later on. Yeah. That's right. That's they when they're back in the Nethers. Yeah.
She's always a good actress.
Yes.
Stuff I've seen her in.
Yes, that was the cop's last day before retirement. I got one more day for retirement, and I'm going to enjoy sitting in my room looking at the wall, watching Father. But
Yes.
we better do this one last raid. Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
you're gonna do it
retirement to the
without arms.
salt mines. Yeah. Your legs still work. You can push a cart, but do it with your back. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I doubt retirement in this society is too wonderful.
Are you showing emotion to losing your arm?
Yeah. That sounded like pain to me. Pain's an emotion. Incinerator. Yeah, she's always good. I love her in Chernobyl. That's a wonderful one. Have you seen the Chernobyl miniseries on HBO?
Oh, I have not yet.
You must see that. Highly recommend. Yeah. Especially if you like this type of aesthetic. Let's just call this Soviet aesthetic. This is very...
Yeah.
This is a Soviet color template. So,
Yes.
he's so good. He's training all the future clerics there. Of course, he refuses taking his next dose.
The way they explain the I forget what they call it, but the gun kata or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the gun kata, yeah.
It makes sense. When they explain it, it makes sense. But it doesn't seem like in reality it would work very well.
Oh,
Especially
no.
with
Of course.
A bunch of guys with guns.
Yeah, no, in reality, like, again, this is a movie where it's like, it's so much fun to watch. It's a wonderful movie, and it all works. Like, the choreography works. You believe it in the context of the movie. You buy into it. But I would hate to watch this movie with like a martial arts expert, a Navy SEAL, and, and a police officer. Like, it'd be the worst. Be the worst people to watch the movie with, as they pick every tactic apart. Right? Yeah.
Right.
Chernobyl was great. Yes. I especially love the first episode. It's pretty much a horror movie. Chernobyl. It's fantastic. And then this is great here, where it's like, I love how like even the windows are like, again, so much thought put into this world, where like even people's windows are like matted out with like this opaque paper, right? So you're not tempted to feel emotions looking at the view. I love that. And it's just fantastic. And he looks out in the world, and it's so great. And yeah, this is where we get it. Yeah, here we go.
So much it freaks him out so much he has to try to put. He goes and like
tries to get another dose.
Again.
Yeah, but he stops last moment because he's like, wait a minute, I kind of like this, right? Like, yeah. And here we are, like, again, wonderful shots. Just coming in, panning down. Just gushing. I'm just keep gushing about the cinematography and the production design in this movie. It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Even the hairstyles, like everyone just has that plain kind of comb backed hairstyle. Here he is. This march into work. It's like, what's the point, right? Like everyone's just, what's the point of everyone's lives here? Every desk is the same. I like he starts rearranging it, almost outs himself, but I was just trying to maximize efficiency.
Yeah,
the desk.
all of the gloves, the way the gloves are brought into the story too. They're like to cut you off from feeling,
from
anything.
sensation, yeah. And and eventually, like, he takes his gloves off a couple times, and then by the end, he like never has them. Yeah. Here we got a raid against a whole bunch of death, and don't worry, this will all be on display soon enough. Here's the scene I was thinking about, where he listens to the music and he kind of has his first real emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's like this room gets all of these senses.
Yeah.
He lights the lantern, which has a smell, and all the lighting in the room, the sound.
Yeah, and he runs his hands along it, and
gets all the senses in there.
Yeah, well, that's why I like where it's not just like for the sense offenses. It's not just like paintings and music and stuff, but it's also perfume. It's like all the senses, right? Yeah, because like everything's just been taken. Christian Bale does such a good job in this movie. Like, you really buy his performance, his transformation. Yeah. And like, even the part where you see where he's like still trying to hide the fact that he's feeling, right? Like he emotes that so well. Here's the part that's hard for every dog lover to watch.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah,
they got dogs.
They got dogs. What did they do? Do they
How
eat
dare
them?
they have dogs?
That. Do they eat them? Like, I think there would be way too much collateral damage. Oh, you got to remind me. What's that in reference to, Misconnect Madman? I think we moved on too fast. I want to know where the collateral damage would be. Oh, and of course, he's got the cutest puppy.
It's the dog.
Oh no!
It's like,
I love his excuse. We got to test if there could be an epidemic.
I will kill this dog myself.
Yes.
Hey, this person had a squirrel and a raccoon.
The gun kata. Yeah, that's right. It's true. Yeah.
Gun kata.
Yeah. Though some people do for fun train gun kata, but I take it that it's a lot like Iaido and what's the sword play that Steven Seagal does? Does he do Iaido or
I don't know.
I forget, but it's like one of those types of martial arts where it's like it's not about making contact or anything like that. It's just it's almost more like a dance, right? Where it's just like you have these very planned moves. Yeah, which I think is gun kata.
His form of martial art is the most shat on by everybody.
Yes. Yes. Well, if you want to talk about embarrassing, just watch anything he's made in the last.
Bad things happen.
Yes. So watch anything that Steven Seagal's done in the last like 2 decades, and oh god, it's just so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Which are also all
wearing. There's some movie where he's wearing a long trench coat like that to hide.
Yeah.
To hide his obviously large gut.
His gigantic gut, but let's just say it doesn't work. You can see the gut.
Yeah.
It's like just go full moo. Just get it over with.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Shamu.
So yeah, he's got the dog in here. This scene is fantastic. This guy here, yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, he plays. Like every minor role is fantastic. He plays a great role too.
Question of witness, I'm not.
He takes it, and he's just about. Oh, sorry, I didn't recognize you at first. And just as they're about to leave, you hear the whimper of the dog in the trunk, and he's like warning them, "Don't do it, don't do it, because if you do it, I'm gonna have to murder you all." Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go John Wick on you.
yeah. Here we go. Yeah, well, damn, you want to talk about ripping off John Wick? It gets a lot of inspiration from this film. I wouldn't be surprised. Like stuff like that is just awesome. Like again, like
Wow.
obviously in a real world situation wouldn't work, but you buy it. It's just
What
done
kind
so
of
well.
ammo is that?
Yeah. It's just done so well in this film that you buy into it. Steven Seagal, make believe. Yes. Oh God. No, I gotta remember. Trying to remember the names. There's a YouTuber. I think he's called Spaced Ice or something. I'm not sure if you've ever watched his videos. I recommend because his Steven Seagal film reviews are so great. He's 100% sarcasm. He just says this is the greatest film of all time, and he just goes on about how great it is, but it's all sarcasm. It's so great.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'll have to check that
Yeah,
out.
Spaced Ice. Try and find him. It's hilarious. Yeah, so he just absolutely murders the team there. And I think this is kind of after this is where the gloves kind of come off. Yeah, doesn't have the gloves on now. They're off. And they do almost kind of like a mix of like fencing and kendo here, which is really cool. So again, I like that mix of like Western and Eastern martial arts. And a classic little joke here where he says,
You're
I
like
got
the
you
Emperor.
pegged.
I feel your anger.
Yeah. And he's got him down at the crotch. They go in, just mow everyone down. Oh, okay. We got to go back. There's another talking about arm snaps. Oh, God. I wish I could jump by 10 seconds or something here, but I think this is it right here. Watch. Right, not this one. Must be this one then. Here we go. Watch this. Oh God. Oh damn.
And the scream. The scream.
The scream of at intense pain, and even a little blood just adds so much. I have to admit that I liked Hard to Kill and Above the Law when I was a kid. Oh yeah, no, like his 90s stuff, and I think he started in the 80s. His 80s and 90s stuff, it's for me, it's still lower tier. Like to me, he was never Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. It's still
but
a tier.
It still fits in that 80s.
Yeah, it still fits in that aesthetic,
style.
And it's fun.
Yeah,
and they're fun, and yeah, I'll agree. Like I like watching those too. They're fun. But anything post like essentially like 2000 and especially like post 2005 is just so bad. It's just so embarrassing.
It's gone. He's totally gone.
He's so gone. Yeah.
How great he is.
Yeah. And it's just it's funny to watch. Like I'm not gonna lie, they're still entertaining at how bad they are, but you're not laughing with them. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Because he takes it 100% seriously, which makes it so much more funny. Yeah, and then there's this part here where they switch the guns. Now this is something because there is a thing where he switches the guns with the guy, and but it doesn't quite work in this edit of the film because you look at it, you're like, wait a minute, that's kind of a loophole because like he did switch the guns, but he killed the officers in the Nethers before this sequence, so it should still be his gun that has the biosignatures on it. And not Ty Diggs, but apparently there are deleted scenes that you can watch that actually explain that away, and apparently the gun swap did happen earlier. So there's apparently so apparently it's not a loophole because there's deleted footage, deleted scenes that actually explain it, and it actually makes sense. But this movie was trimmed down, so unfortunately in the trimmed down edited version, that plot point gets a little clunky. And this is something I never really noticed before. And I feel like I should have, is he's given the gun saying, I think you should do it, Preston. You should kill these guys. You cornered them in here. and he's holding the gun, and he puts it on auto, and he looks at that guy, and the guy says no, right? And at first, I always interpreted it as he's saying, "Please don't kill us," right? But now I realize that he's obviously planning on killing all the guards and letting them go, right?
Yeah.
But he's saying, no, don't do that. Because obviously the resistance fighters know that he's now a valuable member for their rebellion, right? And him going against the other cleric here, Ty Diggs, and all the other guards in the area at this point risks outing himself too much, right?
Yeah.
Where he can be much better as kind of like as like a cell, as an agent working like a double agent, right?
Right.
So he hands the gun back. I think in the end, it's best that you have it.
It'll be better if you have it.
Ah, it's close. So he gives the gun back, and you'll see the guy gives. I'm trying to avoid copyright claims here, so sorry about the constant pausing and stopping. You gotta love how YouTube works these days. Yeah, can't let it go for more than like 5 seconds. Hands the gun over, and we get a little nod back and forth to each other. Perfect. Just so perfectly done. And I can't believe that I completely misunderstood that exchange all the way until just recently.
I do love the scene after he meets these guys, and they show all their faces, and they're like all these mixed emotions of his face is fear,
Yeah.
theirs is anger and hate, and it's just really good scene there. I love that.
Because you're just used to everyone just being stoic, right? Just
Right.
The magic of deleted scenes. Silly theater audiences have no clue. I know, huh? Look at that. I'm living high up in my perch where I know that's not a plot hole in Equilibrium. And every time I hear someone say it's a plot hole, I'm like, oh, you've only seen the theatrical cut.
There's a deleted scene for that.
Yeah, it's like there's an app for that. There's a deleted scene for that. Don't worry. And then this is great where he's like, I want to talking to father, or we don't know he's father yet. Oops, spoilers. Saying I'm gonna. He's essentially doing the plotting all together now, working as a double agent. Gives his apology to Sean Bean here, who I guess had to come in to be on the slab. Here he is actually acting dead. That's a good scene for him. They should have a movie one day where he only plays a dead body. That would be great. That would be the greatest. Like he should be in the remake for Weekend at Bernie's. We got Sean Bean. That would be the ultimate serendipitous remake. So here I like this. I think he gives kind of like something of Sean Bean's characters to her because they were lovers, right? The photograph, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love this scene where he figures out that this dude. Look at this school. There we go. There's the Mississauga School Board Library. There we are.
Yeah, right there.
The manifesto. Yeah.
You can read the manifesto or the manifesto. Which one?
Yeah,
do you want to read?
the school district manifesto. Oh, there. I've still got that on. Sorry, there. And
yeah, that's what that district's books look like. They're all white.
Yeah.
With black lettering.
Yes.
That's it.
It figures out he's a sense offender. As well, he's helping the underground. Oh, this part here, he throws him through the wall. And I always worry. I'm like, damn, that guy's got to like fix that whole wall now before students come back. Like, damn it. Yeah, here he is. He's with the actual underground. And here's Mr. I've seen him in 100,000 movies, but you don't know his name, guy.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, though.
You have to be sure.
Yeah, here's all the underground. As you're saying, like everyone's got actual emotions on their faces and different feelings. I like how they just do the polygraph test. It's just to tell that you feel emotions. Needles are jumping. It's fine. He's legit.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah. Oh, we don't care if you're lying. We just want to know that you're feeling. Yeah, and this is where like you think he's being he's been caught for sense offense. You think he's being done. But then he masterfully, of course, switches the guns have been switched. And this is a great like triple cross, because here you think, oh, good, Ty Diggs is gone, right? Like you think he's now in jail, but no, they've planned all this on him. So I love that back and forth of like ever evolving plots within plots, but it works. It works. It doesn't it's convoluted enough where it keeps you surprised, but it's not so overdone where it's so convoluted where it doesn't make sense. So again, very nicely done. Yeah, and I think this is where. No.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no, that's up here, this scene. Sorry, I jumped one scene ahead where he gets caught because he goes to her execution. And this is like where he watches himself at his wife's execution, right?
Yeah.
Damn, he had a fine wife, too. I'm just going to say it. So he's just kind of standing there watching. So this is where he has like his full mental breakdown, right? So his wife was, he just stood by while his wife was burned. He killed pretty much, quote unquote, his best friend, Sean Bean, right? And now this woman is being executed that he's kind of falling for, and who is Sean Bean's lover. So that's kind of the pushing point. His emotions have gotten the most of him now. Tries to save her. It's too late. Breaks down on the steps. And here you can totally tell where Ty Diggs is also feeling emotions.
And I have brought him for your justice.
But it kind of makes sense because it's theatrical for them to watch, right? Like it's to keep. Yeah. They don't feel, but obviously, like father and the leaders have to have a theatrical flair.
I like the way he's down on his knees like that and looks up and it's his boots. And he looks down at this happy face. Hello. And this just whacks him in the face.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And then here the audience gets to feel a little fun.
I know.
Where he does what we think is like the final double cross, where like I brought him to you. And the gun swaparoo. And I like his reaction here.
Sir, the trace shows that it was your gun.
Yeah, I love that. And they take him away, but then you learn in the end that this was all for show for Preston's benefit.
Yeah.
And then he organizes to have the whole underground. Oh, we're not there yet. He runs home to make sure no one finds his pills. And this is where the little kid, he's actually not the turd we thought he was, but he actually dug his dad out of a trap and took the pills out of the cabinet before the team could get them. And it makes sense that the kids stopped their doses when their mother died, right? Traumatic event for children. And I got the underground. And I love how everyone's just been in this black and gray attire. And then finally, for the ceremonial purposes, he gets this wicked white suit. And this actor here, he's in Gladiator. He's the guy at the Coliseum that's like doing all the big announcing. Yeah.
The
Perfect.
fruity looking dude.
Yeah, with the huge eyebrows, like the ridiculously huge eyebrows.
Curled eyebrows, yes.
Yeah, and so he's playing kind of a similar role in this again, kind of like working for the government. His father's explaining how to meet father. See, he trimmed his eyebrows for this role, though, so very appreciated. Yeah, and then here's the trap. They take the sword away from him.
I tried to infiltrate an agent.
Yeah, and they've been using him the whole time. Father's dead, actually been dead for years, so he is essentially, this guy is father now, DuPont. And just love this here.
Oh.
Shit.
I love that. Oh, shit. Which then also hints in that even more of these like upper echelon people are feeling, right? Like none of them are on the pill, like that guy too. Yeah. All these people that are like inside on like essentially the deep state. The deep state people are all feeling emotions.
Like, oh, wait.
Yeah,
He's showing all this emotion, and then it like flatlines. Is like,
I
I'll
love
show you
that.
no emotion.
Yeah, I'll show you, fucking ruthless killer. Just boom. And we have the great action sequences going into the final room. And we got kind of like all the top
The
clerics.
final boss fight.
Final boss fight. Cuts through all them. What I love about this fight, though, is you think this one is going to be like an epic battle, but it just takes him like 3 moves to kill him. I love that.
Yeah,
This is fantastic.
which is
Yeah.
probably the most realistic fighting in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is probably how most fights really happen with swords. Done. I love that. So beautiful.
Yep.
You're expecting it
Cuts
to
his
be
face
this
off.
big, epic showdown. Yeah, he cuts his face right off. Oh, it's so gross. But there's a horrible. The face falling off is a fantastic effect, but there is a shot at the very end, which I never noticed until I was editing. I was like, oh, why'd they put that there? And I'm going to show you. Then we get the final bite with DuPont, which is a bit more of a real battle. But I love he becomes such a worm here. Wait. I feel. Can you really live with that? Taking my sensations away? And he's just like, gladly. Just kills him right there.
You've taken everybody else's away.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
And then we get the end here. The uprising starts, and so they destroy all the production facilities. Written and directed by Kurt Wimmer. I'm gonna call you a one-hit wonder. You are a one-hit wonder, but the one hit you made was wonderful. So I'll give you a little applause for Equilibrium. Very nicely done. All right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna
kind of tell. I mean, I don't think I've even watched 5 minutes of the Resident Evil he did, the really bad, but it's got a certain style, especially the CGI scenes and stuff has a certain style that's his style. It just worked in one movie.
Well, you can really tell that Equilibrium was like his baby, his child. Like that one, it feels like something that is obviously the film he really wanted to make and the story he really wanted to tell. And it shows because it's by far leagues above all his other work. But yeah, I'll show you this here. So he cuts Tydig's face off. Beautifully, really cool shot where it slips off his face and then slips off his head, and you don't see it. But just as Christian Bale is leaving the room here, we get this hilarious shot. And look at his face it's fine, but look at his face on the floor.
It just looks like a picture just a cutout picture on the floor.
Cutout picture on the floor. Yeah, that is totally a PNG just on the floor.
Wow.
You're like, oh, why'd they do that? You could at least paint it in a little bit of blood, like around the circumference around it, right? So let's get a zoom in there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's wonderful movie. Special effects are 99% solid, but you got a couple of these bizarre choices that just were like little clip-ins. So I'm not sure why they did it. But now, please join me for my favorite part of Brewing Film Live, which is when we go over the RIPs, the rest in peace, the memoriam slides. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Here we are. Let me just turn the ticker off here. Oh, no, it's fine, actually. All right. A little too loud. Let's bring it down. You can talk, and or you can speak during this.
Okay.
Oh no, it's Sean Bean. And rest in peace, Errol Partridge. And rest in peace, our our emotional linchpin. We never knew you. The poor dogs. Thankfully not shown. And goodbye, Mary O'Brien.
Oh,
There we go. This should be Andrew Brandt. Nice. Goodbye, Father. Goodbye, Legacy Media.
Not without incident.
And it dies. I wasn't even going to attempt like putting a ticker and counting this up. It would have taken so long to edit. Beautiful. Oh God. It just keeps going, baby. I like this here, where he actually like threw out the reload. That was such a good thought for this movie that you never see in action movies.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, why would you even try and stop him?
Yeah. Nope, that wasn't me. I didn't toot.
That wasn't me. The Marathi music, I thought you would enjoy that. Yes. I was like, what matches the feeling of all this death? I know. There we go.
Mariachi band.
Mariachi band. And it goes with the beat. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum.
Yes.
That was I threw that together as always while I'm at work at my desk. Don't tell my boss. So, what you working on there?
I love the way at the beginning where he goes in the door, and they're like,
oh, you like that?
There's like 4 guys with shotguns ready to shoot at the door out, so he lands on it, and then he just surfs the door into the room.
Surfs right through it. Yeah. Again, all stuff that wouldn't work in real life, but you buy it in this movie because it sells it so well, and it's just absolutely wonderful. All right, well, it's that time of the day now. Is it daytime there? It's daytime here. What time is it where you are?
It's 5:30.
5:30. All right, we'll still say it.
Yeah.
All right, that means it's still that time of the day, where you have to give your official review, like your 10 out of 10. What do you give this movie?
I would give it maybe an 8.
An 8 out of 10.
Probably.
8 out of 10. I like it. Of course, we had Miskatonic Magman earlier. Gave it a 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, I'm pretty much exactly where you guys are. This is an 8 out of 10. A solid 8 out of 10 for me. And now please remember, 10 out of 10s are almost unheard of. 9 out of 10s are super rare. And even 8 out of 10s aren't that common. For me, most movies fall in between a 5 to a 7. So this means this is already in like the masterclass league, essentially. But there are a few flaws.
It's funny that I did like V for Vendetta and Equilibrium in the same week. But
it's perfect.
But they're both movies I stopped watching. You know, I was like, oh, this is boring, and turned it off.
Oh my God.
But now I like the movies now. It's crazy.
Now you realize how wrong you were. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah. It is
the dork. I have taken the dork medication, and I am fine. I like both of them.
That's good. That's good. You took your DM10. Good. Your dork medicine.
Yes.
Very nice. Yeah, it is fun though, like because there are me too, like there are movies and stuff I watched as a kid that I didn't quite click with me or I didn't quite like, and then you revisit it like a decade or even two, like now in my case 2-3 decades later, and yeah, then you're like, oh wow, what the hell was wrong with me back then? This is great, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
and then of course you do have some in the opposite direction too, where you're like, oh my god, I like this as a kid.
Yeah.
Which is actually
this is before I got into the like anime and stuff like that, but this movie fits right in with that stuff. Over the top, violence and stuff. It's good.
This movie is like Soviet and Socialist Party Germany aesthetics meets Japanese film style or like anime film style. Yeah, it's a really with that late 90s, early 2000s trench coat flair. So yeah, a really fun mix there of styles, and it comes together. It makes a wickedly fun feature for sure. Man,
yeah, and not just a trench coat, but a double-breasted trench coat.
Yes, yeah. I will say that style-wise, out of all the trench coat films, Blade, Matrix, this film, and to a degree, V for Vendetta, I like the style of this one the best.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Just because they're so dedicated to the theme. Like it's not just the clerics, but it's also like the almost SWAT-like uniforms of like the other officers that go out in the nethers. It's like the black tie, black suits of the higher ups, like and the white suit he's got at the end. All of it is just wonderful. And actually, the Matrix Reloaded or whatever it was actually kind of ripped off this movie with the white suits.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So, there's that. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic film, 8 out of 10. For everyone viewing who hasn't seen it, please watch this movie. Please buy this movie, own it. This is definitely
it a chance. Don't stop watching it 10 minutes in. Just give it a chance. Watch the whole thing.
Keep it going. It gets better and better and better as it goes along. Yeah, and it's kind of funny talking about movies. How your opinions change when you're a kid. A review I've long been thinking about doing is the Flintstones movie, because
the Flintstones.
Yes, because when I was a kid, I loved that movie, and I watched it so many times, and I thought it was so funny. But I've seen it referenced so many times recently as like how terrible of a movie it is, right? Almost like a meme in itself, right? And I'm like, is that movie really that bad? It's got like John Goodman. It's got Rick Moranis. It's it's fantastic. Got this great cast. It's got Rosie O'Donnell, but I'll say it's maybe one of the few roles of Rosie O'Donnell I actually enjoy. I think she actually does a half decent job in it.
Stomach.
That bang the stomach, yeah, where she's actually not off-putting in it, from what I remember, right? Like, so I was like, oh, I wonder what's so wrong about this movie. And I remember the McDonald's toys were fantastic. So yeah, I'm gonna be revisiting that one day.
I kind of feel like that way with Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It's like when I was a kid, I watched that movie over and over again, and I almost can't watch it today. It's good. It's really corny.
Oh yeah,
cheesy,
yeah.
But it's got a fantastic cast. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I remember I watched it as a kid too, and as a kid I remember feeling like, oh, this is like a very grown up, very serious, dramatic movie, right? I watched. And I haven't rewatched it, like actually sat down and rewatched it since I was a kid, but I've seen a couple clips. Of course, there's the famous scene where he throws the guy out the window. But I've seen a couple clips of Kevin Costner. I'm like, oh no.
No.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, I'm not sure if I should rewatch that one now, right?
The speech he gives, he's trying to feel like his really big emotion-driven speech, and it's like, cringe.
Trying to bring some gravitas to it, but no, not working.
Yeah. No.
All
And it's
right.
saved
Well,
at the end by Sean Connery.
yes. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, I love like he also. Well, that's also like in, of course. What was the Mel Brooks Robin Hood Men in Tights?
Men in
That is such a
Tights, yes.
fantastic comedy, and I love
It is.
how they.
I love that one.
Are you the real Robin Hood? Well, for one, I speak with a British accent. I love that part.
Yeah, right. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, bless
no,
you.
that's my name. Dave Chappelle.
So great, Dave Chappelle. Then at the very end, Patrick Stewart comes in. I love that.
Yeah.
Great film. But yeah, I got to wrap this up pretty soon because I got some work I got to do today. They say there's no rest for the wicked. What do you got coming up quickly? Just do a little spiel. Obviously, people should subscribe to Jacob Ironside here.
Yes. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be going over the great Christmas movie, Die Hard.
Beautiful. So get the tree out.
So, yep, get the tree out.
Oh man, I like good.
Get
Great
ready
Christmas.
for Santa McClane to throw some presents down the chimney.
I mean, you should say down the air ducts.
Down the air ducts. Yes. So yeah. So join me for that. That'll be fun. And Roman of the Empire, I'll be on his channel, just talking. It's his free range stream. So just topics that are from the week. So yeah, that'll be fun.
That sounds fun. I've always thought about starting up a free range stream as well. So every now and then, I would love just to shoot the breeze. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Jacob, I got his link in the comment section there. So please check that out if you're watching and subscribe to his channel.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, no.
Sometime.
Thanks a lot for being on. And I am going to get on your channel one day. We had it lined up, folks, but unfortunately,
yes,
scheduling conflicts got in the way, and I still feel terrible about that. It's the most annoying thing about living in Japan is trying and having a full-time job is just trying to work around the time differences, because there's so many streams that I want to be on, that I want to be part of, that it's either sleepy time for me, 3 a.m. at night, or it's work time. So I got to keep an eye out for free days that I got, but I will be on there one day, Jacob Ironside, I promise.
Yes.
Actually,
even
send me your.
If I have to do a little bit earlier, earlier show, I can do that too. So
you can actually do that. You're okay with moving like a couple hours or so? That'd be awesome. No, great. Well, actually, again, private message me, or as they say these days, PM me. Oh, the hip kids. PM me your upcoming schedule again, if you would.
Okay,
that'd be great. Awesome. Well,
I'm
me,
still working on the New Year schedule, so
okay,
I'll have that out the next couple of days, and I'll send it to you.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. As for me, I got about 4 or 5 different videos in the works right now. There's going to be a little Super Mario gag coming out, small video. Then there's also going to be the cartoon. I swear, the Avengers Endgame. The Avengers Endgame cartoon is 60% done now. So we're up from 40% the last time I was broadcasting. So it's going to be out this month, I promise. And then a couple other kind of review videos are in the works as well. Yeah. But yeah, thanks a lot for being here, Jacob. And thanks for everyone. Miskatonic Madman and Kochi STI, thank you so much for being active in the chat. I always appreciate that so much. It's just great to have you guys all here today. And I think that's all for today. So enjoy your evening, everybody. And thank you again, Jacob Ironside.
Yep, thank you.
Like, share, subscribe.
Did you hear that?